David Thompson swore Atlanta was the safest airport on Earth. Then he landed at Changi. For 25 years, he'd been a bedrock of the U.S. Transportation Security Administration, assessing over 300 airports annually. Atlanta, with its staggering 100 million annual passengers, was the pinnacle, the absolute peak of aviation security infrastructure, a fact he'd proudly declared to anyone who'd listen. Singapore, he'd figured, was just another box to tick, a formality. Their security budget is maybe a tenth of ours, he'd scoffed to his colleagues before leaving. That pretty much says it all, doesn't it? His cynicism wasn't entirely unearned. The previous year, Frankfurt had been a bureaucratic nightmare, an endless loop of protocol that left him shoeless, late for a crucial meeting, and fuming. European airports, he concluded, were rigid, inflexible. His own country, the US, topped the global aviation security rankings, with Singapore trailing at a distant 7th. He boarded his flight, a smirk playing on his lips, convinced this trip would only prove his point. Singapore's famed politeness would surely be a soft underbelly, a vulnerability in the face of real threats. What good was courtesy when threats lurked? Efficiency, cold hard numbers, threat elimination. That was the real game. He envisioned the Singaporean airport chiefs nodding deferentially to America's superior technology, unaware that his professional worldview was about to be utterly upended. The moment David stepped off the plane at Changi, a subtle unease pricked at him. The surveillance cameras, he noted, were positioned with an almost unsettling precision, blending into the concourse architecture. New terminal, maybe? He rationalized, pushing the thought aside. As he headed towards immigration, the usual cues he'd expect in Atlanta were conspicuously absent. The whole process felt eerily smooth, silent. At the gates, the facial recognition system whirred almost imperceptibly, a stark contrast to the loud, clunky machines back home that blared passenger profiles across giant screens. David frowned. What was this? Security to him was about deterrence. Big machines, stern faces, visible authority. This quiet, almost invisible efficiency didn't compute. It felt weak. Then he got lost. Changi's multi-language signs, though abundant, were more discreet than the colossal, unavoidable banners he was used to. He spotted a ground staff member and, with a sigh, asked in English for directions to baggage claim. The staff member, whose English was a little halting, didn't just point. He started walking. No, please, don't trouble yourself, David protested, genuinely flustered. In American airports, staff stuck rigidly to their job descriptions. Personal escorts were an unheard-of inefficiency. But the Singaporean, smiling, simply said, "No trouble, sir. It's our job to make sure you feel at ease here." A foreign warmth flickered within David, an emotion his rational, cost-benefit mind couldn't quite process. Why would someone go to such lengths for no visible reward? He watched the staff member politely nod and disappear once they reached baggage claim, leaving David standing there, a strange mix of confusion and unexpected gratitude washing over him. What was that feeling? He wondered, shaking his head. Sentimentality has no place in security. A nearby local businessman, when asked if this level of staff helpfulness was normal, simply replied, "Oh, normal, la. Customer service is just how we do things here." David's rigid convictions began to crack. The next morning, panic. His tablet, with all his crucial presentation files for the day's meeting, was gone. He remembered charging it at a lounge chair at Changi last night. Not again, he muttered, a cold sweat breaking out. Frankfurt's nightmare, lost item, unhelpful staff, personal responsibility, flashed before his eyes. He assumed all overseas airports were the same. This project was vital for his career, a chance to head the international division. Without the tablet, the meeting was dead. Defeated, he called Changi's lost and found, explaining the situation. "I'll check immediately for you, sir. Can you wait around 20 minutes? The voice on the other end replied, surprisingly calm. David braced himself for the usual protracted process. 15 minutes later, the phone rang. "Sir, we found your tablet." The staff member sounded genuinely relieved. "Really?" David gasped. "Yes. Our patrol found it last night and kept it safe. Charger 2. We were just about to arrange delivery to your hotel." David stood dumbfounded at the airport. He'd lost his own device, yet the staff was apologizing for his inconvenience, offering to deliver it. This was utterly alien to his experience. "Why would you go to such lengths?" he blurted out. The staff, looking slightly awkward, simply said, "Well, it's an important item, la. Our responsibility to return it. And we can't just ignore someone in difficulty, right?" The inexplicable warmth returned, stronger this time. No direct benefit, no monetary reward, yet this genuine sincerity, this willingness to spend time for a complete stranger. Glad we could help you. The staff member smiled, a smile of quiet satisfaction, as if David's relief was his own. As he walked through the airport, tablet in hand, David noticed things he'd missed before. The security guards, seemingly scattered at random, were actually positioned to create flawless, overlapping fields of vision. Cameras on the ceiling, patrol robots, human guard routes, all linked, orchestrated like an invisible symphony. Yet, passengers moved unaware. American security screamed its presence, demanding compliance through intimidation. Singaporean security worked in the shadows, seamlessly, almost imperceptibly, to create an atmosphere of undisturbed calm. "Is this the Singaporean way?" he whispered to himself. Suddenly, an announcement cut through the air. "Staff, attention, Blue Code Blue, Terminal 2, Level 3. It was coded, but David, with his years of experience, knew it meant a suspicious item. His professional instinct kicked in. At the lounge chairs on Level 3, 5 staff members were already gathered, moving with practiced calm. "Excuse me, sir, can you please move over here?" A staff member politely guided passengers away, smiling, explaining, never intimidating, establishing a 20-meter perimeter. Another staff member quietly positioned himself near the suspected item, shielding it, a human barrier in case of explosion. David sucked in a breath. This wasn't a drill, this was real. Within 3 minutes of the broadcast, the police bomb disposal unit, fire engines, and ambulances were deployed, fully operational. In Atlanta, a similar situation would take at least 10 minutes. "How did you manage this?" he asked a nearby staff member. "For any emergency, we aim for preliminary response within 3 minutes," came the matter-of-fact reply. "We train regularly with the police, fire, and medical teams." The suspicious item turned out to be just a forgotten camera bag. The staff apologized profusely to the owner, carefully verifying the contents. "So sorry to worry you, sir. Could we just confirm what's inside, please?" It was a request, not a command. Security and customer service, perfectly fused. Sitting in the taxi to his meeting, David's mind reeled. 24 hours had shattered his professional certainty. His American methods, focused on overt deterrence, achieved results. But this Singaporean approach, diametrically opposed, yielded results that were equally, if not more, effective. "Have I missed something fundamental?" he wondered, then shook his head. "No," he told himself, "don't get sentimental. In security, numbers and outcomes are everything." He would prove the superiority of American technology. The meeting took an unexpected turn. David's presentation on the new AI surveillance system was flawless. He demonstrated how it could boost threat detection by 40% and slash manpower by 2/3. The Singaporean executives listened, intrigued by the efficiency. But then, a question. "So, what about the staff who get retrenched?" David nearly scoffed. This was business. Inefficiency was pruned for growth. But the Singaporeans' faces were clouded. "We see our staff as partners, you know. Can't just let them go so easily." David couldn't fathom it. Emotions in business? Illogical. You couldn't enhance security with sentimentality. Efficiency was non-negotiable for global standards. The discussion stalled, left open-ended. David knew it was a polite rejection. Then Mr. Tan, the head of the Singaporean firm, offered, "If you don't mind, would you like to see our philosophy of security? I can show you around the airport tonight." David, curiosity overriding his pride, accepted. At 11 p.m., inside Changi's Security Command Center, a highly restricted area, Mr. Tan explained, "This is our command center." A vast screen displayed the entire airport. When the AI detects unusual behavior, a human operator first verifies it. Then, if necessary, they instruct the ground security. Mr. Tan pointed to the screen. "We don't fully rely on AI. Human judgment. It has a warmth, you know?" David frowned. "Wouldn't that reduce efficiency?" Mr. Tan smiled gently. "Perhaps, if you only look at numbers. But we want to protect not just our passengers' safety, but also their peace of mind." David was speechless. Next, Mr. Tan led him to the empty concourses at 1 a.m. Guards patrolled meticulously, every step adhering to protocol, even in the absolute stillness of the night. "Why so careful when no one's watching?" David asked a young guard. "We don't think that just because passengers are not looking, we can slack off," the guard replied simply. "I take pride in my work, and when I think about the passengers who will walk on this floor tomorrow morning, I can't be careless. Something stirred deep within David. These weren't people motivated by efficiency or profit, but by honor, responsibility, a quiet dignity he hadn't seen in years. At 2 a.m., in the cargo terminal, Mr. Tan showed him a special room, perfectly controlled temperature and humidity. Inside, cages of dogs and cats were meticulously arranged, like hotel rooms. Staff members moved among them, gently talking to each animal, refilling water bowls. "It's okay, little one. You'll see your owner soon," a staff member cooed softly. David was thunderstruck. "Aren't these just cargo?" Mr. Tan replied. "They are cargo, yes, but also precious lives. Even when no one's looking, in the dead of night, we give these creatures the best possible care. This is how we do things here in Singapore, ma." Tears welled in David's eyes. What was security? What was efficiency? What was professionalism? The answers, he realized, were all here. "Mr. Tan," David choked. "I was wrong. Security isn't about showing off. It's about making people feel safe without them even knowing it. And it's not about cutting manpower. It's about utilizing it, isn't it?" "Mr. Tan smiled. I'm glad you noticed. We don't know if our way is the absolute best, but we truly wish to value both our passengers and our staff. This intention, it's genuine." On his return flight, David found himself walking through Changi with a profound shift in perspective. His week in Singapore had shaken his core beliefs. As he approached his gate, he stopped, pulling out his phone. He filmed a 10-second video. The invisible, perfectly connected security. The honest work being done even when unseen. The calm, peaceful faces of the passengers. "I have to share this with the world," he thought, a new conviction burning within him. On the plane, he typed a caption. "As a security expert for 25 years, I've seen airports worldwide. But in Singapore, I relearned everything. This isn't just security, this is a philosophy." The moment he uploaded it, his life began to change. Back in Los Angeles, the responses flooded in. The video hit 1 million views in 24 hours, then 8 million within a week. Security experts from every corner of the globe echoed his sentiments. "This is next-generation security. Harmony, not deterrence," one wrote. "Singaporeans have harmonized security with humanity. We should learn." "I learned that efficiency isn't about reducing manpower, but maximizing it." Most impactful were the messages from airport staff. "Tomorrow, I'm going to be honest, even when unseen. I'm putting passenger peace of mind first." David was deeply moved. His simple experience was sparking a global shift. The biggest change, however, was in David himself. His proposals at work transformed. He no longer chased efficiency as the sole metric, but championed a human-centric approach. Of course, strengthening security is vital, he'd argue. But I believe the pride our staff takes in their work is just as important. "Can we explore methods that achieve both?" His colleagues initially scoffed. "David, what happened to you in Singapore? This isn't like you." Yet, paradoxically, his human-respecting proposals gained more traction. Long-term trust was built. Client retention soared. 6 months later, David was promoted to head the International Security Division. But his greatest pride wasn't the title. It was that his video, and the Singaporean standard it highlighted, was now a benchmark, improving passenger satisfaction worldwide. He received messages from countless strangers. "Your video taught me the Singaporean security philosophy. I want to visit there myself. You showed me what true professionalism is." Now, David visits Singapore several times a year, not just for business, but to continue learning. Just last week, he reunited with Mr. Tan at Changi. "Welcome back, Mr. Thompson." Mr. Tan remembered him. "I heard that video of yours caused quite a stir around the world. We just did what we thought was normal, you know?" David, genuinely humbled, replied, "Mr. Tan, your normal changed the world. Singapore's philosophy has given security experts everywhere hope, and I want to be a part of that." Walking through Changi, David was enveloped by a profound sense of gratitude, ashamed of his arrogance a year ago, profoundly lucky to have encountered Singapore. Efficiency was important, yes, but there was something far greater. A heart that respected people, that brought true safety. That was the most important lesson he'd learned. And now, he carries that lesson to the world. A story that began with a 10-second video and continues to unfold globally.